What's going on, YouTube? It's Thomas L here with another top 10 video. In theaters this week is the new original sci-fi movie titled Kin. You know, it's always nice to see like an original sci-fi film coming because it's pretty cool. Lots of people always complain about like that Hollywood has no original ideas anymore, but Hollywood do have original ideas. The movie Ken is pretty original. I never seen a book of Ken. I never really seen the movie Ken is not a remake. It's not based on the book. It's not really based on nothing. It's an original concept, and that's pretty cool to see. And there's has been lots of other sci-fi movies over the years that have been original. So I decided to count down my list of the top 10 original sci-fi movies, meaning they cannot be based on a book, they cannot be a remake, they cannot be a sequel. It has to be an original movie. So, with that being said, here are my top 10 favorite original sci-fi movies. At number 10 is District 9. This movie was super cool. It came out in 2009, and I didn't really knew much about when I first saw it, and I really enjoyed it. Neil Blomkamp is a really decent director. I've really dug his last two movies, Elysium, and also I dug Chappie. I know Chappie got crapped on a lot, and I mean a lot, but I still really dug the movie, and I wish they move ahead with Neil Blomkamp's Alien film. I'd love to see what Blomkamp will do with Alien. If you still haven't seen District 9 by now, it's a really cool alien invasion sci-fi movie. Definitely check out District 9. I've been hearing whispers about a sequel down the line, but I don't know if it'll ever happen. The movie also turns 10 next year. Really want to feel old? Yeah, District 9 turns 10 years old next year. Crazy, huh? Anyway, at number 9 is Ex Machina, which was also directed by Alex Garland, who recently directed that horrible Annihilation movie with Natalie Portman. This film is pretty much Alicia Vikander as a robot, and it's a really intelligent movie. You also got the likes of Oscar Isaac and Domhnall Gleeson, before they was in The Force Awakens. Here's what the film is about. It's about a young programmer is selected to participate in a groundbreaking experiment in intelligence by the human of breathing, taking humanoid AI. Pretty much, he pretty much creates female, the robots in this are all females, and Alicia Vikander is amazing as a female robot. Whew, Alicia Vikander, man, she's probably my biggest celebrity crush right now. Every time I watch anything that has Alicia Vikander in it, no matter if it looks terrible, no matter what, if Alicia Vikander is in your movie, I'm seeing it because she's not only she's gorgeous, but she is a talented actress, and I thought she was fantastic in Ex Machina. And of course, Oscar Isaac was fantastic. Domhnall Gleeson, Sinoa Mizzo, who could be seen in Crazy Rich Asians, she was really good in her parts. Ex Machina is pretty underrated too. There's not so many people who really talk about it as much. And this movie is a beautiful film. It has some. I think it ended up being in my number one favorite cinematographies of that year. It is a beautiful looking film. If you still haven't seen Ex Machina, check it out. I think you'll probably appreciate it. And it's fully original. I also can't wait to see what Alex Garland does next, because Annihilation to me was that movie I could not really get into. To me that was his bad day in the office. I hope Alex Garland picks a better project, or maybe do another Ex Machina, because the ending kind of leaves the film off with a sequel. So I'll be down to see another Ex Machina film down the line. At number 8 is The Matrix. I always thought this was based on a book, but I double checked and it's not really based on a book or anything. The Matrix is awesome. I mean, it's a really cool sci-fi movie. I mean, you got like Keanu Reeves, Lawrence Fishburne. I mean, Keanu Reeves is Morbius. I'm Morbius. Is a Neo, I meant. And Lawrence Fishburne is Morbius. Oh, why did I get those shit next? Whatever. You also got like Carrie Ann Moss was in this. The film was also directed by the Wachowski siblings, who haven't really done much lately. They did Jupiter Ascending, which lots of people talk shit about, but to me, it's kind of a guilty pleasure of mine. And now, they're pretty much now the Wachowski sisters. I mean, because they had like a sex change and stuff, and I really like them as a director. I mean, they did a really good job with the Matrix. The sequels wasn't all that good either, but the first Matrix is where it's at. Now the movie turns 20 next year, and it still holds up. I mean, it has cool special effects. Cool, actors. I'm all for another Matrix. Like I've been hearing whispers about, like I think it's Warner Brothers is like have been in the talks to do a reboot of sorts with Michael B. Jordan. If they announce that and if they do it, I'm all for it. I think it's time for another Matrix film. But yeah, if you still haven't seen The Matrix by now, check it out. It's a fun flick to watch. At number 7 will be the 2014 movie Interstellar, which was of course directed by Christopher Nolan. And you had the likes of Matthew McConaughey and Hathaway, Jessica Chastain. I think John Lithgow was also in this. You also had like Michael Caine, Ellen Burstyn. The list, it had a really good cast. Well, of course, it's Christopher Nolan. He's amazing when it comes to casting his movies. And this movie will also make you tear up, like towards like around the end. I'm not gonna spoil the film for anyone who haven't seen it. If you haven't seen it by now, what's wrong with you? Check it out. But anyway, there's like a scene here that will make you tear up. Whoever knew a sci-fi movie could actually make you cry. And I mean, it's pretty darn cool too. If you still haven't seen Interstellar, check it out. It's probably not Christopher Nolan's best work or anything. Like to me, it's The Dark Knight, of course. But I'll say definitely this is like one of his best now. Yeah, Interstellar is an awesome flick. At number 6 is a classic. And that will be 1960. 68's film 2001: A Space Odyssey. Wasn't really sure if it was not 68 or 69, but yeah, this movie pretty much changed the sci-fi game. It was so I think it was ahead of its time. I mean, if it wasn't for this movie, we probably wouldn't have other sci-fi movies we have today. We probably wouldn't have Interstellar. We probably wouldn't even have Star Wars or anything. This pretty much paved the way for those movies. And it's also it's also in theaters like in IMAX as well. Like they have like a 2001 A Space Odyssey re-release that's in IMAX. So that's pretty cool to check out. But yeah, 2001 Space Odyssey is a classic now. Definitely check it out. At my number 5 favorite original sci-fi movie will be Alien. That's right, the original 1977. I remember that year. 1977 Alien movie where you had Ridley Scott directing. You had Sigourney Weaver. Tom Skerritt was in it. You had an alien like busting out someone's stomach. What more could you ask for? Alien is an all-time classic. Although I will say Aliens is probably a better one than the original, but the original is a sci-fi classic. I mean, if it wasn't for Alien, we would have other sci-fi movies as well. And come on, Sigourney Weaver, she was a badass for Ripley. If it wasn't for her as Ripley, we probably wouldn't even have Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. We probably wouldn't even have Daisy Ridley as Rey or anything. She paved the way for badass females, and she pretty much kicked ass as Ripley. I still hope we see Sigourney Weaver again as Ripley in the future because she was awesome as that role. Now, some of the other Alien movies that came after, you had Alien 3, which sucked. You had like Alien Resurrection, which stung. The Alien like I think the best Alien movie we had like for a while will probably have been last year's Alien Covenant. But anyway, at number 4 will be The Terminator. I'll be back. That's right, the classic 1984 film with Arnold Schwarzenegger as the Terminator. You also had Linda Hamilton, who, of course, without Ripley, Linda Hamilton probably wouldn't be badass as a Sarah Connor. Of course, lots of people also will say that Terminator 2 is the better one. But of course, I'm doing original sci-fi films, so I'm not really counting sequels here. But yeah, Terminator, like it's a classic. It's pure sci-fi, pure time travel film. Arnold Schwarzenegger was, of course, badass as the Terminator. Of course, we had other Terminators after this. Then we had the aforementioned T2, Terminator 3, Terminator Salvations, Terminator Genesis, and next year we're getting another Terminator that returns Arnold and Linda Hamilton, so I cannot wait for that one. But yeah, the Terminator is really darn cool. At number 3 would be a Steven Spielberg classic, and that is E.T. Of course, I mean, you can't do a list like this and not include E.T. If it wasn't for E.T., we probably have stuff like Stranger Things, E.T. paved the way for these, like, adventure, coming-of-age related stuff, E.T. is just an all-time classic. You got Henry Thomas as young Elliot. You got a young Drew Barrymore in this. What more could you ask for? E.T. rocks. It's probably my favorite Spielberg movie. I know lots of people say Jaws is their favorite. Lots of people probably say Jurassic Park is their favorite Spielberg. My favorite Steven Spielberg movie ever is E.T. It's an all-time classic. Like, E.T. is just adorable. The government was assholes, but hey, all these movies, the government's always had to be assholes and all. But yeah, E.T.'s it's just one of the best. It came out in I think 1983 I think 83 it came out, and the movie still holds up. Like, people now probably knows who E.T. is, and like they probably know what E.T. is, and if they announce like we'll get another E.T. film, I'm all for to see E.T. back on the screen now. But yeah, if you still haven't seen, for some reason you still haven't seen E.T., check it out. It's a classic. At number 2 will be Back to the Future. Now, this movie, of course, paved way for lots of time travel movies. Back to the Future is definitely one of my favorite 80s movies. The DeLorean is always the best. You got Michael J. Fox as Marty McFly, Christopher Lloyd as Doc Brown, Leah Thompson is in this. You got Christopher Glover. What more could you ask for with Back to the Future? It's one of the best like time travel films. You got Huey Lewis's classic song in this. The Power of Love. Whenever that song comes on, I always think of Back to the Future. But yeah, I also love Back to the Future 2. Like, that's probably my favorite out of the franchise is Back to the Future 2. Down the line, I'll probably do my 10 favorite sci-fi movie sequels, but yeah, the first Back to the Future is a classic. It's amazing. It's so darn fun. Gotta love Back to the Future now. And at number 1 of the best original sci-fi movies, it's a no-brainer. It's Star Wars: A New Hope. Like, I was a little skeptical to add this on my list because I couldn't remember if it was like based on a book or not. So before I did my top 10, I decided to do some research and like try to remember if it's like is original. But yeah, the original is an original sci-fi movie. Like there, of course, there's been like books and comic books and all after the Star Wars release and all. But of course, Star Wars: A New Hope came out in 1977. I mean, this movie, of course, paved the way for everything else. I mean, it was a cinematic masterpiece. I mean, you got like Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker. You got Harrison Ford as Han Solo. The late great Carrie Fisher as Princess Leia. I mean, well, George Lucas really did an amazing job at bringing this whole franchise together. Star Wars is just Star Wars is life. Like I said, like I said in one of my brother's videos, Star Wars forever, baby. I'm also so glad Star Wars is, of course, going strong. Got Empire Strikes Back. Of course, you got the prequels. Force Awakens. I'm just so glad Star Wars is still going strong, and yeah, I cannot wait to see what they do with the next episodic film. But Star Wars, like the original, of course, will always be an all-time classic. I mean, they were pretty much afraid that this film was gonna bomb and all, but boy, what they didn't know, like the movie was the biggest moneymaker of that year, and then paved the way for the other films to come after it. And I mean, Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, and Carrie Fisher all became these iconic roles that you know and love. And I mean, if it wasn't for Star Wars, we probably wouldn't have other sci-fi movies as we have today. Guardians of the Galaxy, you could tell was an inspiration by Star Wars. Lots of sci-fi movies today you could tell were inspirations from Star Wars. But yeah, Star Wars that's life. That's pretty much lots of people's childhoods. Like even if you wasn't born around in the 70s or 80s, you probably still have seen Star Wars as a kid. Like your parents probably have showed it to you. Thomas again. Yeah, I can't say more. Star Wars rocks. Anyway, that's pretty much my top 10 favorite original sci-fi movies. Let me go down the list again. Number 10, District 9. Number 9, Ex Machina. Number 8, The Matrix. 7, Interstellar. 6, 2001: A Space Odyssey. 5, Alien. 4, The Terminator. 3, E.T. 2, Back to the Future. And number 1, Star Wars: A New Hope. I kept looking on with other stuff. I mean, Gravity's a good one. There's lots of others that I could have probably added. But what's your favorite original sci-fi movies? Remember, they cannot be based on a book. They cannot be based on a comic book. They cannot be a remake or a sequel or anything. They have to be fully original. So leave a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications. This here is Thomas L. signing off.